If you're suffering with bloating and gas and fatigue and cramps, irritable bowel syndrome is what you've got, and it's known as IBS as well. And if you have that and you've been told by your doctor that it's all in your head, well, I've got good news for you. I can tell you that the number one cause for it is the food that's on your plate. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Krystosik, aka Dr. Good Carbs. Today I'm going to tell you about the number one food that can cure the IBS. In just a couple days you'll see dramatic relief. But I've got to tell you, the number one food is also the number one food that can literally cause your IBS. Now you say, sounds kind of conflicting there, Dr. Krystosik. Well, let me tell you, in just a few minutes, I'll explain entirely what I'm talking about. And by the way, number one food is not fiber, just to set the record straight. But here's what I want to share with you, okay? Before I get started, I want to tell you a story about a patient who walks into this doctor's office, and when they walk into the office, they've got all the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome, and the doctor runs some tests, and the doctor comes back into the room and says, well, all the tests are normal. There's nothing wrong with you. And I can just share with you that it's probably stress. And if you just learn to relax, you're gonna feel better. And you go, that's bizarre, because I know that it's not just stress. Many times I eat foods and it causes reactions inside my body. So you know that that's not the problem. And by the way, that person that I was just talking about, it could be you, because you might have gone that route already and your doctor has told you that exact cause is up in your head, that is psychological. Well, good news is, as I share with you, I'm going to tell you the number one cure and the number one cause for irritable bowel syndrome. But I also want to let you know that there's a charge today, and my charge for the house call today is I simply want you to leave a comment below and tell me if what I'm sharing with you today, if you feel if I'm right or if I'm wrong. So what is the number one food? Well, it's first of all, any food that your body has a reaction to, a delayed sensitivity to, is the number one food that you should stay away from. That's causing your irritable bowel. And at the same time, the number one food group that you should be eating is any food that you're eating that's good for you, that shows up that you're not reacting to it with the food sensitivity, whether it's a test or elimination diet. You need to stay away from the foods that you're reacting to, and you just eat the foods that your body agrees with. Now, it may sound simple, but I'm telling you, it's pretty profound, and I've seen hundreds of patients who got dramatic relief in just a few short days. And they were able to, not only that, get rid of that water weight. And where does it come from? Where do people get all this bloat? You know, you could end up having 10 or 15 or 20 pounds of water weight inside your body from these toxic reactions to these foods that you're eating. And here's how it happens. When you eat a food that your body doesn't agree with, that it has these sensitivities to, your body retains water. Now, the reason it does that, because when you have these food reactions that I'm talking about, they're allergic responses of the IgG reaction types. Now, it's not the typical allergy that you think about, like maybe a peanut allergy. That's not what I'm talking about. This reaction is a slow or delayed reaction or hidden reaction. And here's what happens. You eat the food today, and initially you're going to feel good when you eat these foods that you have these sensitivities to. You're going to feel good. It's because your body literally releases these opium-like substances that are called endorphins, and you actually feel great. But then a day or 2 or 3 days later, it kicks you in the butt, and you start having the symptoms, maybe of irritable bowel. You could have joint pains, or you could have headaches, or you could have fatigue. There's over 100 different symptoms that you could have from these delayed reactions. So your body releases these antibodies, they circulate in their blood, they cause inflammation. So your body, in its wisdom, tries to dilute those antibodies, which cause the inflammatory responses. And when it dilutes them, it has this water that's released, and you get edema or swelling, and you can carry 10, 15, 20 pounds or more of water weight. And if you get rid of the foods that you're reacting to, that water will be flushed out of your system. As soon as you eat those foods again, it's going to come back rushing in again. So the point being is that you need to find out which foods that you're reacting to. And there's 3 different ways you can do that. The first way is get rid of the commonest foods that are the biggest foods, and that's dairy and wheat, gluten foods included in that. So it'd be wheat, barley, rye, and some people say oats. Now, that's the number 1 thing to do. Number 2 thing to do is to get rid of the other foods that are very common, like corn and soy and nuts and citrus and eggs. These are other common foods. And sometimes you want to get rid of things like the nightshade family, especially if you have arthritis. There'd be tomatoes and potatoes and peppers. So those foods you can eliminate, and do that for a couple weeks and see how you feel. Now, what I do with my patients, I cut through the chase because they don't want to have to go through all this rigorous elimination diet, is I do a simple blood test for IgG reactions. We get the blood test back. I keep my patients off of the foods for 3 months. They have dramatic results: the irritable bowel syndrome, the migraines, the headaches, the fatigue, the joint pains, the depression, all kinds of different problems go away. And then we can reintroduce the foods on a rotation basis so that they can eat them again, but eat them in a fashion that is a smart, intelligent fashion. So, again, let me tell you about the water weight. I call it phony fat because it looks like fat, it feels like fat. You're going to get rid of that really quickly if you get rid of those foods that you're reacting to. So I encourage you to come back again and learn about the other ways that can cause irritable bowel, because food allergies are the number 1 reason, but there's also the number 2 reason, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It's abbreviated SIBO. Now we'll talk about that next time, and we'll talk about some of the other lesser causes, but there's several reasons why you could have it, but always check food sensitivities first. So here's the take-home message for today. I've debunked the myth that foods on your plate are not the cause of IBS. And it's not just in your head. And I would encourage you to leave a comment below to tell me if I'm right or am I wrong. Remember, that's my charge for today. And so until next time, I'm Dr. Krystosik, aka Dr. Good Carbs. Tell your family and friends about us, and here's to your health.